everyone, Angela here. Life can be challenging. Trust me, I get it. However, I have learned we can either view the opposition or value the opportunity. Ponder on the problem or praise the potential. Focus on the situation or find the solution. Despite the current circumstances you're going through, I invite you to join me today as we embark on a grand adventure to discover the reasons why it's a good time to be you.
Here's the encourager herself, making every day a good day, Angela Henderson.
Wonderful. Welcome, everybody. You are looking amazing. We are so glad to see you today. This is an exciting time. So turn to your neighbor and say, it's a good time to be you. And it is. And it is. We have a wonderful show today. We have a young lady by the name of Jasmine Gladden that's going to be sharing with us her story and her journey into finding out what her purpose is and the very thing that she loves to do. Many times what opposes you is the very thing that you need to be doing in this life. Remember, opposition is the opposite. So it comes against the very thing that you need to be doing. I'll never forget years ago when I first started running, and I was going to conquer my first mile ever in running without stopping, that is. And so the goal was to come out of my driveway, take a right and go to the end of the neighborhood through the cul-de-sac, come back past my driveway, and then make it to the stop sign. That would have been 1 mile. And so it was on a cold March morning. I'm all bundled up. I do not like running in the cold. And I was all bundled up. And so I head out my driveway and I make that right-hand turn. And the wind was opposing me so badly. It felt like knives were pricking me in the face. And so I kept talking to myself and I kept thinking, I don't know if I should be doing this today. I don't know. Maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe I need to save this run for another day. But I kept hearing this voice inside that just kept saying, Angela, keep going. Things are getting ready to turn around the bend. And so I continued that run all the way to the end of the neighborhood, went around the cul-de-sac and came back. And that same wind that was opposing me on my way down was now at my back, and it was as if it was pushing me, lifting me up, making my run ever so sweet, ever so light, and ever so easy. And so I want to encourage you, that thing that might be opposing you right now, very soon, as you make your turn around the bend, is going to be elevating you. It's going to be lifting you up. And so don't stop and don't quit, because it's what you were meant to do. It's your purpose for being. So with that being said, we're going to take a real quick break, and we'll come right back and introduce our guest to you today. So don't go away.
Hey everyone, Angela here. Just wanting to invite you to share your story with us. We all have times in our lives when it just seemed like it was impossible. But then there was that moment of breakthrough. And just maybe your story was meant to be shared and imparted to be able to encourage and uplift others. Well, we would love to be able to give you that opportunity. So how about send your story into us at itsagoodtimetobeYou@gmail.com for consideration. We would love the opportunity to be able to bring you up on stage so that you can do what you were designed to do, and that was to be an encouragement to those around you. Sometimes you just can't make this stuff up, but when it happens, we want the world to know about it. So again, reach out to us at itsagoodtimetobeYou@gmail.com and send in that story for us to consider. And remember, it's a good time to be you.
Welcome back, everyone. Imagine being a youth and just struggling with your own skin, your condition of your skin, acne. I think at one time or another we all maybe have done that. But this young lady had a condition that seemed to be untreatable, but yet she struggled with that so much. But now today she is not only looking beautiful herself, she's making the rest of us look beautiful in our world. Makeup artist Miss Jasmine Gladden. So let's just welcome her to the stage right now. Jasmine, come on. Welcome. We are so glad you're here today. Thank you for being with us. Have a seat. Come on. So Jasmine, first of all, I love your name, and I love the way you spell your name too. Jazz,
Yes,
J-A-Z.
ma'am.
I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
that's really cool. I'm a very big fan of jazz music myself, so I love it. So that's what it makes me think of. I don't know if that's the way it was spelled for that reason, but I just love it. And I'm just so excited to have you here today, and I just admire you so much.
Thank you, Miss Angela.
Your story, I know it's going to be very inspiring and impacting. And one thing that, I always want to encourage people is that our story brings Him glory.
Yes.
And so there's a reason why we walk through what we walk through, and just learning the successes behind that. Because if you can do it, if I can do it, anybody can do it and can live their dreams. And so I just want to get right started. If you would, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what those formative years were like for you.
So, Miss Angela, I grew up here in the Low Country in Charleston, Jedburgh, South Carolina.
I know where that is.
And I grew up in a two-parent household. Both my mother and my father were growing up here in Charleston as well. I grew up going to a non-denominational Christian church. Both my parents were ordained ministers as well, so every day you're in praise team practice, praise dance rehearsal, mission trips. That's what we did my whole entire life. When I turned the age of 14, I believe, that's when my skin started to change. Of course, now I know hindsight, it was hormonal, but it progressively got worse, to the point my parents didn't know what to do, because growing up we didn't have that kind of education as far as skincare is concerned. So I really didn't know what to do, and it progressively got worse. And that's kind of how my story began.
So what was the impact on maybe your quality of life whenever, your skin was getting worse? How did that impact your self-esteem and just, with you, with your peers?
So it definitely impacted my self-esteem in a very negative way. I would cry. I remember crying. My parents would talk about me just crying. And I had like an inner self-esteem, like confidence, but outwardly I would always be self-conscious, because I'm like, I know this is the first thing that they see is my skin, and I'm struggling with it. So I would wear bangs, or I would wear like hairstyles that would hide my face, and I just did not have that inner confidence to show who I was, who am I, and I would just kind of melt in the background because I didn't want that kind of attention.
Yes. It is a struggle when you know inside there's more to you than what you see and what other people see. But you don't know how to project that because you're trying to cover up something on the outside. And I'm familiar with that growing up. Like that as well, and so it's a very hard place to be, because
hard.
You want the world to see what you wish you could project, what you really felt, on the inside, but just felt limited, or we felt blocked. But again, like I said, whatever opposes us is really the opposite of who we are and what we are and the great things that God has planned for us. So with that being said, how did you then come out of that, situation where your skin was concerned?
I developed stage 3 acne.
Okay, and what is that? What is that stage 3?
So stage 3 acne looks more of like papules, pustules for the estheticians out there, blackheads, whiteheads, and scarring from like the scar tissue, which comes from excoriating our own skin to try to correct the issues ourselves.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I remember those days.
Horrible.
Bless your heart. Well, I know that was very traumatic. Now, is that the stage that also causes the scarring?
Yes, ma'am. Well, mostly all acne stages cause scarring because we'll pick at it to try to take down the texture of what's going on with our skin. So if we have a whitehead, we'll try to pop it ourselves, get the fluid out. If we have a blackhead, we'll squeeze it ourselves. And that causes inflammation of the skin, which is scarring.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and as young people, we just become a little really self-conscious,
Yes.
of it, thinking that if I can just pop it and make it go away.
Yes.
But that's not really what happens, is it?
No, I mean, I remember telling all of my clients, because I do practice with like skincare and aesthetics, and I'd have those teenagers and I'd see a little piece of me in them. I'm like, just don't pick, baby, just don't pick.
Oh my gosh. Well, in just a moment, we're going to come back, but we're going to take this break first. But when we return, Jasmine is going to be sharing with us how she walked out of this stage 3 acne and what she did to take care of herself, take care of her skin, and then even how that affected some of the career choices that she made. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Hey, as a leader, you are a broker of gifts. So whether you are a professional, a business owner, or a ministerial leader, I would love to accompany you in transforming your ordinary staff into an extraordinary team through leadership development, team building, and personal discovery. You will learn the amazing gifts, skills, and talents that each of you have and know how to bring them together in order to do great things. So reach out to me at angeladhenderson.com and let's begin your amazing adventure today. And remember, it's a good time to be you. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And we have with us makeup artist Jasmine Gladden, who is sharing with us her journey through skincare and in her battle with her own skin, but she overcame that and is just following her passion to this day. So Jasmine, share with me, with this battle that you did have, with the condition of your skin and with acne, how did that change your hopes for your future and the plans that you had made?
So as a young lady, my father would always tell me, Jasmine, you would make a great attorney to go into law, because I was kind of like argumentative, okay? Let's be honest about that. So I went to College of Charleston for political science and communications. I declared my major the first time I even stepped on campus.
Wow.
First day I declared my major because I was sure. I knew that's what I wanted to do. And then as I grew as a young adult, I'm still battling acne, and I knew that I could cover it up with makeup. Yeah. Makeup became a thing. And probably by my junior year, I'm realizing as a first-generation college student, I am like this deep in water, and I can't get out. I don't know who to ask. I don't know who to get help from. I'm trying tutoring and all these different facilities that College of Charleston was offering me, but I just couldn't get out of it. Wow. So I think my senior year, as I'm approaching my senior year, I was academically dismissed because my GPA slipped that much. Wow. So I really had to step back and I said, okay, God, what is this? My parents are disappointed in me. They didn't know I was in trouble until the trouble arose, and then there I was. Yeah. What am I supposed to do? So my first thing I researched was certified makeup artist. That was my first Google search, because at that point, I'm noticing I'm getting like pretty good with my makeup. Why not? Yeah. And licensed esthetician popped up on that Google search. And that's kind of where it started.
Wow. So with that being said, did you just drop out of school and sign up for esthetician school? Or
Kind of.
Kind of. So as simple as that.
Yes.
Well, this is why she was the attorney. Once the girl makes up her mind, she just goes out and does what she wants to do.
Oh,
that
yes.
is really kind of exciting.
Not at the moment.
Okay. Okay,
Not
so
at
then
that moment.
what kind of support did you have or did you not have?
There was no support in that.
No.
It was really hard for my parents to see me do that, because first, like I said, I was academically dismissed. Okay. So they're like, Jasmine, how did this happen? And I'm like, no, it was really bad for like the last couple semesters. And they're like, well, why didn't you ask for help? I'm like, I don't think you could have helped me, So it was really hard for my parents to see that happening. And like I said before, I lost a few big scholarships, so my parents were fitting the bill. And it was really hard for my dad to say, well, esthetician, I'm not going to pay for that. And so I had to do it all myself. And that was really challenging for me, but I had to keep walking.
So what did you do in order to take care of your schooling for esthetician?
Well, the government offers FAFSA.
Yes.
Thank God for FAFSA.
Yes.
And I was granted a good amount of money that provided me the financial stability to go to be an esthetician. And I was still working part-time here and there,
Okay.
retail, to help support myself as I was like living in a townhome and things like that.
Okay.
So that's kind of where that happened, and I just had to keep walking because I did not have that support from my parents. Hindsight, they didn't understand. You know, they didn't understand. Even to this day, they kind of don't understand. So,
Well, you know, a lot of times, four-year colleges are not for everybody. And I know that I've got three kids of my own,
Yes.
and so who just excel in different areas. You know, some musically. You know, I've got one that's a published author.
Wow.
You know, I've got another child that just likes just a career, just a regular job, and but college wasn't for any of them. Neither one of them, selected a college to go to, but yet they're doing what they love and what they enjoy, and that's the important thing, is to find that niche, to find out what it is that I am passionate about, and then just doing it, because that's what your life is for.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
what the purpose of your life is for. It not only brings you pleasure and satisfaction, but it also helps you to be significant in the lives of other people.
Wow. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and so when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what it is that you're doing and the business that you have started. But we're going to take a real quick break, so don't go away. We'll be right back. Check out my new book on AngelaDHenderson.com and take a journey to discover the many reasons why it's a good time to be you. Welcome back, everyone. So now, Jasmine, share with us with your business now. You made that career choice right before we left for our commercial break, and so you went into school to be an esthetician. Didn't have a whole lot of support. Pretty much you had to follow this dream on your own. If this was something that you were going to do, you had to be the one to make it happen.
Yes.
And sometimes I really believe that that's how God wants it. Because we are growing in this process, and so He's wanting you to find out, see what you're made out of, who you are. Maybe even in that time, removing what wasn't Jasmine,
Yes.
in order for Jasmine to emerge and become, that being that He's designed you to be and what He was thinking of the whole time He
Yes,
thought
ma'am.
of you. So with that being said, you now have a business. Is
Yes,
this right?
I do.
Well, share with us a little bit about this business and what you're doing now.
So as time went on, I went to school to be an esthetician, like I said, and I had this one girl that was working for me at a store in the mall, and she asked me to do her makeup for prom, and I said, no. And she said, no, you should really do my makeup for prom, and I said, okay, and I did it, didn't charge anything, and it turned out to look pretty nice. And then that's kind of when I knew this is what I was supposed to do, because the smile on her face when she looked in that mirror, it did something to me. I still remember her name. I'm like, Lord, if you ever bless me, I have to bless her, because she believed in me. She saw something in me that before I even saw it in myself.
Wow.
So time went on. I gradually got more clientele, booked my first wedding, and did things like this, and just like photo shoots, work with different photographers. But I didn't have a name. So for years, I just worked under Jasmine Gladden Makeup Artistry. That's what all the contracts said. That's what everything said. I'm looking for a name, and God gave me the name Huetopia. Huetopia, Huetopia. And I'm like, okay. Well, as a black makeup artist in the South, I pride myself on being able to service everyone, all ethnicities, all races, everyone from any cultural background. I will never be able to tell you no. And I really pride myself on that, and I market myself as that. And Huetopia came because all hues are beautiful. And in a perfect world, all hues would be treated as precious as they are. And I just thank God for giving me that name. After all that time, I'm like, God, why I have no name? Well, He definitely takes His time on you. I have chills thinking about it, but now I just really appreciate Him giving me that name when He did, because I have so much gratitude from that. So.
Yes. And how beautiful, that you see people the way God sees people.
Yes.
And all colors and all makes are just very precious to him. And so you see that, and you can bring that beauty out.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, no matter what shade we happen to be. And so that's really awesome. So what, if anything, did God speak even more so to your heart and giving you the strength just to keep pursuing your dream? I mean, because I always tell people, small business is definitely not for the faint of heart.
No. At first it started off as a hobby, and I allowed it to be that because you have to go through those small hiccups by yourself.
Okay.
What is a contract? What is a makeup kit? What should that consist of? How much does the stuff cost? What is a travel fee? What are those things? And so I had to learn that on my own. But through that, I still kind of stayed humble and quiet through that because I still didn't think anyone from my family side understood what this was. It was just a hobby. And I continued to monetize and capitalize on that. And God kept pushing me. And there came a time where I questioned it and I tried to go away from it. I don't want to do this anymore. This is too much. I need to just finish school, which I will, finish school or go into something more of like a office job. Yeah. And God said, not so. I gave you this gift. You didn't have to go through a training. Yes. I touched your hands and gave you a gift, so you need to honor that and be obedient. And I kept pushing, and after a while, I noticed, oh my God, this is a business.
Yes.
So that's kind of how it happened.
That's so beautiful because it's the creativity, and some artists use canvases, some artists, will use, sides of buildings.
Yes.
You use people's faces.
Yes.
And that's pretty cool. I like that. And you can bring out the beauty that way. And so how wonderful,
Yes,
that
ma'am.
is. And so thank you for just being obedient to the call of God on your life, because you bless so many people and making special days, special events, all the more elegant, bringing out that beauty and helping
Yes,
a
ma'am.
person, really look the way they envision themselves looking and appearing.
Yes, ma'am.
And you bring about many happy smiles. And so thank you, Jasmine, for just hearing the voice of God and following your call and pursuing that. So we're getting ready to take another break. And when we come back, we're going to hear some maybe helpful advice that you can give with someone who might be struggling in that area of their appearance. Okay, so
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
go away. We'll be right back as we wrap up. Good deal. Well, we have been with Jasmine Gladden today as she has just been sharing her experience with skincare and how her personal struggle with that actually led her to her purpose and just a little bit more of her identity of what God's called her to do and assigned her to do here on this earth to make the world a beautiful, better place. And so, Jasmine, what are some practical tips that you would give to individuals who may be struggling where their skin is concerned? And this could probably be for men and women alike, because women are not the only ones, who struggle with acne and
Yes.
just that skin condition.
Well, it's those small things that we forget. I always tell my new clients, I'm like, you have to check yourself at the door, right? If we're going through acne per se, wash your hands before you wash your face. Change your pillowcases every Sunday.
That's a good
A lot of us women we're tired and we're like, I'm just going to go to sleep. I'll just wipe my makeup off. No, wipe your makeup off, cleanse your skin, rinse, cleanse again. Sometimes we often try to think, okay, well, this brand might be a little bit better because we look at the price tag, but we think our skin is the largest organ of our body. Let's take care of it, So maybe we need to spend that extra $5 to $10 on that cleanser or that serum, right? Because we're exposed to so many environmental aggressors every day that can age our skin or cause us to break out. I mean, we're wearing masks every day.
Yes.
We have a new term now as estheticians, maskne. So now we have to really go deep and give our skin a deep cleanse, and drink lots of water. We forget about that. drink water.
Yes.
It really makes a difference. Our body's made of 80% water. We have to help nurture that because our body is a vessel of God. It's the temple. We have to take care of that because He gave us this body, and there's only one you, one me. We have to take care of ourselves.
That is some really good practical advice, and that's simple and easy.
Yes.
It's something that we all can do, okay? Wonderful. Well, then, Jasmine, thank you for sharing all of this with us today, and this is very encouraging and very uplifting. And so, when did you realize that it was a good time to be you?
Well, I think hindsight for me, I had to think back as an adult and say, you know what, it didn't happen to me, it happened for me. God allowed this one thing to give me, He really developed me as a woman. I was so insecure about my skin, and then He brought it all the way around and said, now I'm going to help you make money with this. I'm going to help you help other women that's going through the same thing that you're going through, and then you're going to be able to make them look beautiful on their wedding day or for their maternity photo shoot. They're going to look in the mirror and they're going to say, wow, with tears in their eyes, and it's going to give you the same effect every time. It does something to me every time. And so I thank God for giving me the confidence that I lacked when I was younger. And then whenever I have a woman sitting in my chair, to not even really minister to her, but plant those seeds of faith and hope. And when they ask me those questions, how long have you been a makeup artist? How long have you been an esthetician? And I don't make it about me. I make it about what God did for me. Because like I said before, He did this. I had no hand in this. Yes. And so I give God all control. And I know that His destiny for me is the best. Yes. I couldn't imagine what He's going to do for me. I can't imagine it, right? He gave me a vision, but it's so much bigger than I can ever imagine. And just with that alone, it gives me so much peace. So much peace, even when it's hard, even when I feel like I don't have support, even when paying the bills are hard. I know that I can have peace in knowing that God, everything is working out for my good. Yes. Nothing that God puts His hand on will fail. He put His hand on me, and I am going to be successful. Yes, and I have to keep walking in that. I have to keep walking in that because this Christian walk is not easy. Yes. So I just thank God for those small victories, and I know it's going to be a big victory, and it's going to be His victory later on.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are just so excited that you were with us today. And yes, you are going to live those dreams, and you're going to go further than you ever imagined, Jasmine.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for sharing this with us and sharing your dreams and your story. And how about at the count of 3, we're going to let them know out there that it's a good time to be you. Okay? 1, 2, 3. It's a good time to be you. To get in touch with Jasmine Gladden, you can reach her at her website at utopiabeautyco.com. That's HUTOPIABEAUTYCO.com. You can also email her at utopiabeautyco@gmail.com. And remember, it's a good time to be you.